Greetings, duelists, and welcome to Back to the Underground. Uh, this is episode 13. Uh, I'm gonna be testing the waters on this one. I don't know if the audio is going to be completely perfect or anything like that yet. But yeah, without further ado, let's begin. This is episode 13. So, the first thing we talk about, Malice has finally done it. I mean, they already did it a couple of weeks ago, but we now have three national wins with the deck. There might be probably one or two more, right but right now we have the Swedish nationals, we have Mexico nationals, and the Honduran nationals won by the deck. Uh, what does this mean? Does this mean Malice is the best deck again? Does this mean that Malice finally found the solution to like combat the format perfectly? Uh, I think that is very highly suggestive. Uh, we're in an era very similar to 2013. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, we're basically at a non-engine war against Mitsurugi. Mitsurugi and Malice are the two best decks right now. Every single week or month, people will just try to find cards to beat each other and see which non-engine sticks the most to give them a competitive edge. Like format. Malice was already kind of solved when the new like format started with Alliance Insight, which meant that Mitsurugi was going to be ahead of Malice just because of so much hate already had beforehand. But now, things are a little bit different. Now people are catching on to Mitsurugi. People are learning what to do against certain variants of the deck. And Mitsurugi does have silver bullet cards, the same way Malice does. A lot of people think it's just Roll and Rock, but no, there are other to deck that really put that deck. Before we talk about those cards, I want to talk about a few meta trends that were like cementing with Malice. The first one is Magnamut. I think we reached the conclusion that both Magnamut and Tourism are staple in Malice. Uh, you're going to see that in this list, and this list opted to play Boldrake as well. I think Bestials should still be played in Malice despite the existence of Marshall. They're just really good extenders. They apply a lot of pressure towards your opponent, and more importantly, it helps check the Mitsurugi matchup. It's not a perfect solution against Mitsurugi, but just preventing a Murakumo from coming forward or like halting your opponent from using prayers to scatter like Mitsurugi, it's actually a really good deal. People are mainly using Manamo and Tourism because they're the best players, and you don't want to like dedicate your entire main deck towards their skills. They are still awkward against the mirror match, unless like you face somebody who's doing exactly what this guy's doing right here. If you haven't seen the last episode, I know the audio was a little bit shaky, but I did put in the description like things to look out for. One thing that we did talk about is like the trap cards you choose to play in Malice. But yeah, I think no matter what list of Malice you're playing, these cards should be. The second card I want to talk about is Molcharmi Fualoff. So, at the beginning of the format, at least the Alliance Insight transition, we've noticed that people were playing like 6 to 9 Molchar, uh, like rotating between the main deck and the side. Uh, my issue with maining multiple Charmies was that the Charmies don't do anything first. Like, if you play Almirage, then it becomes very important because it does help with Adagnister plays, it does help enable Splash Mage access, it does help play around with cards, especially if you're playing Spider, for example. Uh, I had there was one game that my opponent had. He got it was a puppet where they puppet like a Fua. They made Almirage with the Fua. They made Link Spider with the Nib token, and then they turned both of them to Splash Me, and that was enough for the game. Um, so I think just maining Fua is correct. Uh, that's what I was thinking for a long time. And, seems that these two national winners caught on to that. Um, the rest of the non-Indian is very subjective. Like, for example, the Mexican national winner played Biru. The one from the Honduran national played Boldrake instead. There's only one copy of Meowth inside deck here. There's two copy of Meowth over here. Lancia is pretty much a staple, as you already know. Yeah, that's it from Fua. The other thing I've been noticing is people are playing Imperm again. Like, both lists are playing Imperm. It was only a matter of time until Imperm was played. We're basically use very high impact hand traps. They work very well alongside Imperm. Uh, like, the name of the game right now is to stop your opponent from playing, or at least dwindle as much of very powerful resources as possible. Imperm by itself does not do that at all. But Imperm paired with other cards like Bua or Magna or like Lancia, cards like those, they do the job. The other thing to take away is, if you stop playing Infinite Tournaments, you're going to be disrespected by those other rogue decks, or those decks, lockdown cards, stop you. Let's say, for example, you play and like, sometimes that Imperm can just win you the game. Um, like, so, something to keep in mind when you're playing. It's also a card that helps you with Dominus Impulse, giving the extra effect to Dominus Impulse is important. So, like, just pairing Imperm with Impulse is certain decks. All right, now let's start talking about the bigger table. Let's start with Triple Pack Trust. Triple Pack Trust is being a side deck staple for a lot of decks. Like, but one of the cards that is paired with Thrust that is actually working out in Malice's favor in this format is Mischief of the Gnome. I did a deck report. It was not the Malice deck, it was a different deck, but I talked a lot about Mischief of the Gnomes on that last video. So if you want to know a little bit more in depth of what I think about this card, just feel free to watch my last video. This one. As far as Mischief of the Gnomes go, I think this card is really, really powerful against all Rizio versions and the hybrid versions with Mitsurugi. It's not as good against the pure Mitsurugi deck, which is gaining a bit of popularity. Shoutouts to Roberto Navarro, using a the Malice testing group, he actually brought up those words like to the equation. Um, but besides that, I think this card is very very solid. This card also White Forest because that is a synchro deck. And he does make awkward combos against that deck. Uh, it's not good against every single deck in the format, but a few other road picks um, yeah, uh, I have nothing bad to say about this card. Is like really, really strong card. Like I had a duel where I just skipped two of my after giving them further charge. Uh, I won't berate more on the card. Again, I already made a video on it. The other card I want to talk about, and this wasn't one of the side decks, is Mistaken Arrest. Uh, I did talk about Mistaken Arrest in the last Underground video. I think this card, I would not gonna say it should be a staple in Malice, but if you really, really want to do well against like any Mitsurugi variant or any Regio variant, but like if you're going first, this is a very powerful. Just a big red disclaimer when you're flipping this card. This card does prevent you from flipping MTP07. So be careful. Outside of that, I think this card is pretty solid. Like, cards like these are going to be cards that just give you a competitive edge in the format against the other guys. Like, if your opponent lands you, but you open these cards, they're not playing the game either. Eventually, one of them are going to run out of the resources to stop each other, and one of you will full combo. And the cards like these that just have very strong recurring effects are cards that you should be looking into when you're like playing this format. I think the extra deck is pretty much staple. This guy opted to play Transcode Talker, which is something you don't see in our every list. This one opted from playing Bomber and Cerberus. I know there are OCG players that started looking into Bomber, and Bomber is a way stronger card in the OCG than in the TCG. The number one reason is because they can combo that card off with Link Decoder. And Link Decoder is no longer legal in the TCG, but is legal in the OCG. So, yeah, this meta trend is picking up steam. Another card I want to talk about, and I think this card is starting to become a staple in Malice. A lot of people are saying this. Some people say that this card was already a staple, but this was not on every list. Now this card is being seeing a lot of play now, and the biggest takeaway from Gloomy is that this card is not just really good against the Malice mirror match. This card is really, really good against Mitsurugi. Imagine taking their Ameno, just taking their Ameno, the Murakumo. Yeah, imagine taking the just or imagine if they try, if you force out the Murakumo pops the Gloomy, and all of a sudden the Gloomy gets you to a marsh, and you just start combo extending over your opponent because they already wasted their most powerful interruption. Like that's to be very respectful. All right, I think that's it for this episode. I hope you found this exciting understanding. More videos coming soon. Keep practicing and keep dueling.